Welcome to my channel. Smash the like button if you love what we learn from history. And today, let's find out a history of the Buddha. The ancient Indian city of Bodh Gaya is where most major world religions have their origins. It was here that Mahavira attained enlightenment, or so it is believed. According to Buddhist texts, Siddhartha Gautama was born in the small Himalayan kingdom of Kapilavastu around the 6th century BCE. His father was Suddhodana, the ruler of the Shakya clan, and his mother was Maya. She died shortly after giving birth to him. He was then raised by his stepmother, Mahapuchapati, who was the half-sister of his father. His father wanted him to live a life of luxury and pleasure. So he married a beautiful girl named Yasodhara and had a son with her named Rahula. But one day, Prince Siddhartha decided to leave the palace walls and go into the outside world. That est when he saw an old man for the first time and asked his chariot driver what was wrong with him. The driver replied, "Old age is unavoidable. Even kings and princes grow old." This was very shocking news for the young prince to hear. He had never seen an old person before, because everyone old enough to remember was banished from the city. So old people were not allowed inside the city walls. Determined to find the secret to eternal youth, Siddhartha left the city and wandered around in search of an answer. But soon he came across a second old person and then a third one too. It was then that he realized that old age was inevitable. He also realized that all life inevitably ends in death. Soon he came across a funeral procession. But instead of being shocked, Siddhartha felt a sense of calm. Finally, he understood that death, like old age, was also inevitable. "This, too, shall pass," he said to himself. Siddhartha now realized that life was full of suffering and that attachment to things and people was the cause of this suffering. He decided to find a way to stop suffering once and for all. So he gave up his royal life, leaving behind his wife and child, and lived in the forest as an ascetic. For 6 years, he meditated and starved his body to the point that he became skin and bones. One day, while meditating under the Bodhi tree, he remembered the lessons learned from his teacher, Lara Kalama, and realized that neither extreme of indulgence nor extreme of self-denial was the way to end human suffering. At that moment, he attained enlightenment and became the Buddha. After attaining enlightenment, Buddha spent the next 45 years traveling all over India and beyond, teaching people about his newfound wisdom. Although the Buddha is revered by millions of people around the world, few know about the culture he was born into. All important decisions were made by a council of elders. Women had more rights than men and could even become the head of the village council. Also, slavery was unknown among the Sakyas. This was unlike the rest of India, where slavery was common and prisoners of war were often enslaved. When Siddhartha was born, an astrologer named Kala had predicted that if he stayed in the city, he would either become a great emperor or a great ascetic. To prevent this prophecy from coming true, his father kept him away from all worldly pleasures, but the effort was in vain. As we all know, Siddhartha left the city anyway and attained enlightenment. What we know about the Buddha comes almost entirely from the Buddhist scriptures. But these scriptures were written down only about 400 years after his death. Thus, they may contain many inaccuracies. Most historians agree that the historical Buddha did exist, but the miracles attributed to him are largely mythical. Historians also question the claim that Buddhism originated in Bodh Gaya. Many scholars believe that he was born in what is now Nepal, a region known as the Middle Hilly Zone. This is supported by a number of early Buddhist texts, including the Lalitavistara, which contains many details about his birth. According to this text, his birthplace was called Lumbini. Later, this name was corrupted to Lumbi Navati, and finally to Lumbini, as we know it today. It seems likely that the Buddha was a wandering ascetic who lived during the 6th century BCE. He probably belonged to the Sakya clan, but there is no evidence that he was a prince. The stories of his former lives, called the Jataka tales, were written down centuries after his death. Likewise, many of the miracles attributed to him, such as walking on water or making it rain, were added later. These stories are not found in the earliest Buddhist texts. Even though he may not have been a prince, his teachings were revolutionary. He taught that life is full of suffering, and that the only way to end this suffering is to end desire. Desire leads to attachment, and attachment leads to suffering. By letting go of desire, we can free ourselves from suffering. This is called nirvana in Buddhism. The Buddha taught that everyone can attain nirvana. It does not matter whether one is a king or a pauper. All that matters is one's own effort. This was a radical idea at the time. The prevailing religions in India, Hinduism and Jainism, believed that the soul was eternal, and that it was reborn after death. The Buddha, however, taught that the soul was not eternal. It dies along with the body. Despite facing opposition from the Brahmins, the Buddha's teachings spread far and wide. After his death, his followers started to write down his teachings. These writings are now called the Tripitaka. The Tripitaka contains 350 volumes of Buddhist scriptures. It was compiled between the 1st century BCE and the 3rd century CE. The scriptures are divided into 3 parts: the Sutras, the Vinaya, and the Abhidhamma. The Sutras are the discourses of the Buddha. They contain his teachings on a variety of topics such as the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the nature of reality. The Vinaya is the discipline of the Buddhist monastic order. It lays down the rules and regulations that monks and nuns are to follow. The Abhidhamma is the metaphysics of Buddhism. It deals with topics such as consciousness, mind, and matter. Many of the Buddha's teachings were aimed at monks and nuns. He taught them to live a life of simplicity and detachment. They were not allowed to own property or engage in worldly activities. Instead, they were to spend their time meditating and studying Buddhist scriptures. The Buddha also taught lay people, however. He taught them how to live a moral and ethical life. He gave them 8 precepts to follow. These are: do not kill, do not steal, do not lie, do not intoxicate yourself. Do not eat at the wrong time, do not waste food, do not sing or dance in a sensual manner, and do not use ornaments or perfumes. The Buddha also taught about the importance of compassion and loving kindness. He taught his followers to be kind to all living beings, not just humans, but also animals. In fact, he said that all living beings are related to each other. Nothing exists independently. Everything is interconnected. This is the doctrine of dependent origination. According to this doctrine, nothing comes into existence on its own. Everything is caused by conditions. The Buddha taught that the same is true for human suffering. Birth, old age, disease, and death are not caused by a personal God. They are caused by our own actions. We create our own destiny. This is called karma in Buddhism. Karma means action and its consequences. Every action has a reaction. If we perform good actions, we will enjoy the fruits of those actions. If we perform bad actions, we will suffer the consequences of those actions. According to Buddhist teachings, there are 6 realms of existence. These are the realm of gods, the realm of demigods, the realm of humans, the realm of animals, the realm of hungry ghosts, and the realm of hell beings. The Buddha taught that all living beings are born into one of these 6 realms. The realm you are born into depends on your karma. If you have good karma, you will be born in the realm of gods or demigods. If you have bad karma, you will be born in the realm of animals, hungry ghosts, or hell beings. The Buddha taught that all 6 realms are impermanent. Nothing lasts forever, not even happiness. Those born in the higher realms will eventually be reborn into lower realms. Likewise, those born in the lower realms can be reborn into higher realms. The Buddha taught that the only way to escape this cycle of rebirth is to attain nirvana. Nirvana is a state of perfect peace and enlightenment. To attain nirvana, one must follow the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path leads to the cessation of suffering. It consists of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Today, Buddhism is one of the largest religions in the world. It has more than 500 million followers. Some people might think that Buddhism is a religion of passive acceptance. After all, Buddhists believe in karma and nirvana. They believe that life is full of suffering and that we must simply accept it. But this is not the case. Buddhism is actually a very active religion. Buddhists are encouraged to help others, to be compassionate, and to strive for enlightenment. Buddhism has been a source of strength and comfort to billions of people over the centuries. Its teachings have helped people to cope with suffering and to find meaning in life. Thank you for watching, and if you appreciate what we can learn through history, leave a thumbs up in the comments.